Happy Friday, guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Dubs. I'm your host, Bill T, and aloha to all my brothers in Hawaii, all the VW guys I got to kick it with this last weekend when we were in Hawaii with hot VWs for the Shaka weekend. So they had a lot of stuff going on in Oahu, where we flew into, stayed at the Ala Moana Hotel, and got to kick it with a bunch of the people from the VW Club of Hawaii. So on today's podcast is going to be interviews with Todd Matsumoto, who is the president and one of the longest members of the, I think he's one of the founders actually of the VW Club of Hawaii. He's been in the game for quite a while. You're very familiar with him and you know his car, as well as my buddy Jody Madeiros, who's with the Isle Vee Dubz Club out of Maui. We get him on the podcast, so we'll be hearing from him first. Get to hear about what's going on in Maui, how the fires have affected some of our VW brethren, and how you guys can help, how my listeners can help the VW community in Hawaii. So it's been some tragedy out there. And by all means, man, if you guys get a chance to go out and visit, go out to Maui and visit, they need visitors. That's their lifeline out there is tourism. So don't hesitate to book your trip to Maui. Get out there. There's plenty to see outside of Lahaina, and the island's pretty large and lots of other stuff to do. So by all means, man, get out there and support our brothers in Hawaii, man. They need all the support they can get after that tragedy that they've suffered. So we'll get some more insight on that after talking to our man, Jody Madeiros out of Maui. So that's what we'll be kicking off the podcast with. But I want to remind you guys again, support the sponsors that support your favorite podcast. Go to VWTrendsMagazine.com and subscribe today, as well as check out Ross Wolf. That's right. Go check out Ross Wolf. And to remind you guys, there's just a few short weeks left until one crazy weekend here in Las Vegas. And if you're, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks until it's here, man. 4 weeks and one more week till they do the room cutoff. They cut off the room reservations on the 15th of September. So you guys need to call all your buddies, all your friends are to come to this event and make sure that they get their room booked before September 15th. Don't call me after September 15th and be like, Bill, I can't get a room. They said they're sold out. We've got over 200 room nights sold, which means there's a good amount of people that are going to be there already. At least 100 people staying 2 nights, and they've got their rooms booked. So you guys got to get your rooms booked. I've never stayed at a hotel that's had over 200 VW people or over 100 VW people staying there. The Crown Plaza, I don't think they ever had 100 rooms sold for the show, stuff like that. So lots of people come to town. The car show's filling up. As you register for the car show this weekend, I'm going to go live where we're going to connect with Car Show Pro. I'm pretty excited about this Car Show Pro setup because with Car Show Pro, we're going to be able to you're going to be able to upload your information on your car. We'll print a placard. You can optionally put a picture on that. And some of you that have pre-registered for the event, I will send you an email with a link to where I'll probably reach out to you by phone and get your year, make, and model of your car so I can register you on the site. Once you're registered on the site, then you go back in and upload a picture. It's a super cool thing that I saw at the SEMA show, and Roger with Car Show Pro is my guy. Talk to him. It's a real slick program. We are going to do a top 20, which will be like People's Choice. And then we're going to have a select group of judges going out to pick some cars for best of show for judged, and then we'll have top People's Choice, and then we'll have a top 20 pick based on cars. Now, the cool part is when these cars are going to be at the show at one crazy weekend, on your placard is going to be a QR code. That QR code will allow people to click on that and vote for your car. So that's super cool. It's a true People's Choice. You can't vote more than one time, and you cannot vote outside of the area. So there's a geofence around the car show. So like you can't send it to your buddies out of state and have them vote for your friend. So it's really a fair thing. And I've always enjoyed when our cars are on display in front of people that are not Volkswagen people, that they can actually log in and vote for your car. So it's a great opportunity to, kind of see what the people think about your car. And I dig it a bunch, man. So I'm really excited to kick off this Car Show Pro setup for the car show, for the judging aspect and all that. And I'm really looking forward to that. So with that being said, by Monday when you register for the car show, you'll be redirected directly to Car Show Pro, and you'll just register and pay your fee through that separately than the poker run. So I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to this weekend. I mean, I'm getting a lot of feedback. Tons of people are coming to town. It's going to be off the chain. So if It's awesome. And if you're close by, come to the show. If you can't make it to One Crazy Weekend, there is another event going on that's going to be up in Northern California area. It's actually going to be taking place in Medford, Oregon, October 6th to the 8th, the Ohana reunion. So the drag racers, I know you guys are not big car show guys, but if you guys need to support the drag race, head up to the Volks Group's Ohana reunion. And that's put on by the Volks Group, presented by Marvin & Sons Construction. So you guys make sure that you get out there and support that. If you're not coming to One Crazy Weekend, make sure you go to the Ohana reunion. All right. So lots going on at this time of year. I'm super pumped for the car show, man. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a weekend to remember. That's without question. So looking forward to that. Make sure you guys get your rooms, everything booked, and all put to the side. Any information, go to letstalkdubs.com. Click on the link that says One Crazy Weekend and get all the information that you need. It's going to be an unbelievable time and a weekend to remember. So I look forward to seeing all you guys that are out there. So remember, these car shows, when I go to them and do the podcast, they're done live right there. So some of the background noise, I can't really control it. And on this one, you got a sweet metal band in the background. So enjoy some of that while you're listening to these podcasts. But they're good podcasts, a lot of great content, and I'm excited to bring them to you. So you guys get an opportunity to go out to Hawaii, check out that Shaka show. It's a pretty legit show, a lot of cool cars, and you're in Hawaii as well. So it was a great time. I appreciate everybody for being there. All the guys that kind of hooked us up. My guy Stan, Michael. I mean, so many people just really, they rolled out the red carpet for us, and I really appreciate all of those that helped us out. Thanks to the guys, the Isle Vee Dubz Club out of Maui, for really just treating us right when we got to Maui, and Nalu's Restaurant for really hooking us up with the buffet. But it was a great time in Maui. Got a chance to cruise around and support the Isle Vee Dubz Club. So Maui strong. Anyway, guys, appreciate that. A link in the description below to the GoFundMe page to help those particularly in Maui and getting that money directly to those guys. So asking you guys to check it out, dig deep. Also, go check out on the Isle Vee Dubz Club page over there. They have a couple shirts up for auction that I gave them, and they're auctioning them off, and all the proceeds go to helping those in Maui. So don't forget, click the link down below so you guys can help support those in Maui that have been affected by the tragedy over there. And let's get into it this week. Todd Matsumoto is going to be the second podcast coming up, and the first podcast coming up, Jody Madeiros from Isle Vee Dubz Club. Second podcast, Todd Matsumoto with VW Club of Hawaii. Without any further ado, guys, let's get into it this week. The Hawaii special on Let's Talk Dubs.
You probably don't know that there's a new Volkswagen out that doesn't look like a Volkswagen. It's got everything that people who like the bug like. So if you happen to see a good-looking Volkswagen, don't panic.
Okay, everybody, so today I'm here again with another episode that I'm coming to you from Hawaii. We're over here at the VW Shaka Show 2023, and I got my buddy Jody Madeiros with me. Jody, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Jody's out of Maui, and Joey's with the Isle Vee Dubz Club, right?
That's right.
That's who you're with?
Yes, sir.
And I met him probably a couple years ago when it was Keone ordered a shirt, and I was on vacation. I said, I'm going to be there in 2 weeks. So when I flew down, I brought some shirts with me and some stickers or whatever. And he said, hey, come on down, and we're going to meet up with some guys. And I came down, and the whole Isle Vee Dubz Club, a bunch of the guys was there. This is during COVID too, right?
Yep.
So everybody was kind of on the lowdown, and we all met over there. And just a solid bunch of dudes, hardcore VW guys. And these are the guys that got all the stuff in Maui. And so I'm glad to have you on the podcast today, because I want to talk about there's a lot of stuff that's happened in Maui, and a lot of our brothers over there in Maui, unfortunately, they lost their homes and some things like that. And you coming on a podcast, we're going to talk Volkswagens, obviously, but
cool.
we're talking about some of the stuff that's going on in Maui. But real quick, what we always do on the podcast, we always talk about your VW story and how did you get into Volkswagens?
Yep. It was some years ago. I mean, I was telling Tom from Isle Vee Dubz that I got started just when like a little kid, and buying Hot VW magazines and running down the hall in my parents' house making sounds of 48 carburetors going down, and I actually still do that sometimes today, but don't tell nobody. But yeah, that was the start, man. It's like I've been hooked ever since.
And with all the cars out there, hot rods, all this kind of stuff, what made you pick Volkswagens?
My dad, long time ago, had a purple dune buggy. He and his friend used to go through this sand area that was in it. Now it's developed into homes, but used to be sand dunes and all kind of stuff. And they used to go rat patrol back there with their 2 buggies and just go crazy and stuff. And I don't really remember the car, but I've seen many pictures of it, and I always wanted one. And when I first started, I started with like a '69 bug. It had so much rust, but he told me how he would adjust it with his points with matchbook covers and stuff like that. I was like, all this backyard stuff, but hey, I was all eating that all up, you know.
Yeah, and you've been in the VW game for quite a while, right? I mean,
yeah, since just before I could drive, I bought one, and then I'd work on it some, just do it myself, because I figure I could mess it up how many times without. It'd be a lot cheaper than me taking it somewhere, and I might learn something in the meantime. So yeah, I started there. I went to a 74, sold that, and just kept on going. I had rag tops. In fact, the rag times, I'm the one that built those rag times. I don't know if you ever saw those.
Yeah, rag time is like it's a blue purple.
Yeah, the blue one. In fact, that guy that has it now, he takes great care of it. I mean, it looked pretty much the same. I mean, that neon paint, blue paint and stuff.
Was it featured in the magazine? Was Ragtime featured in the magazine?
You know, I'm not too sure. I know it's been in pictures, but I'm not sure if it's had a feature or not. Not while I've had it. And then the red one was the first one.
And it has graphics on the side.
Yeah, it has the word ragtime, and then the second one is ragtime with the two number ones.
And you built
both cars.
Both cars.
Yeah.
Here in Maui.
On Maui, correct.
On Maui, start to finish, built those cars.
Yeah. And the second one, I did some of the painting on stuff like that, because I wasn't much of a painter back then. I'm still not much now, but at least I'm willing to put it on my own cars, not to do on anybody else's cars. But
and now, so you do everything hands-on as much as you can for yourself.
I try to. And my brother Brandon Gonzaga on Maui, he's been teaching me so much turbo stuff. I was addicted to carburetors, and he took me for a ride, and he said, "You sure you want to come with me? Because after I'm done with you, you're never going to want to ride another." And I was like, no way, I'm too in love. From when I was like 14 and a half, I was running around the house making 48 noise. You ain't going to get that out of me. But the whole thing is, once I ran in that car, and hey, turbos, man, it's unbelievable. And just cruisability, and when I floor it, I'm like, I'm still trying to get the maturity to hold it all that it's got, and I haven't yet.
Yeah, because your buggy has got, you're short and pan, and you've got big turbo motor.
Yeah, it's a 2234 thick wall cylinders. It's got some nice fat heads on there. I mean, it's just worked out. I mean, a lot of the stuff from Ron Loomis, the raised tranny. I mean, just the whole disc brakes all the way around. It's a bus trans in there. It's got Porsche CVs, shortened axles, whatever.
So it's ready to go. I mean, it's got the best of the best all the way around.
It's ready to race. It's just the driver, me, not ready to race yet. But
it's just driving around in a cage, right?
Exactly.
So, man, and I know you love the scene. You're involved heavily in the VW scene, and recently they had a whole situation go down over there in Maui.
Yeah.
Give some of the people listening to the podcast that may not know what's going on. They hear a little bit on the news, but give them some insight, especially how this has affected some of our brothers in the VW community.
Yeah. Well, I was over there that day. I was trying to catch a boat out to Lanai from Lahaina Harbor, and the boats were all canceled because it was already blowing in the morning. So I went on with my job. I did a couple other jobs which out in Kapalua and the Pili side. So I got those done, and there was a fire in town. But by the time I got back toward Lahaina town, they had already had it not out, but contained. So then I finished up and I went back into Central Maui, and that evening is when I heard what it came back to life, and it with 80 mile per hour winds, it swept through all of Lahaina, and the devastation is unbelievable. I mean, I've seen videos and stuff of it, but I've worked in the areas, even the areas that are secured off that nobody goes except for homeowners and first responders, and it just tears me up inside. You can go for blocks and blocks and blocks just driving, and you won't see anything, and then you'll see like one house here, or you might see one car that survived and stuff next to it is burnt. I mean, it doesn't make sense how it is, and it's not lasers from space or anything like that did it. It started off Miko's power wires. They already came out and admitted that. And then that first fire, it seemed like it didn't get put out, and the winds just took it. And once it started, I mean, even the firemen, I gotta give my hats out to them. They risked their lives for the people of Lahaina and their homes and everything. I mean, everybody came together. The devastation is unbelievable. If you see those videos, you think that's bad. It's way worse in person.
Yeah. And there's a couple of our VW brothers that have been affected. They've lost everything: houses, cars, everything. Right?
Yep. Samuel and there's like I think 8 of them that lost. I mean, baby windows, buses, things. 59 ragtop that was previously in Hot VWs and stuff, a feature in there. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful cars and stuff. So there's 7 or 8 guys. They lost everything, and we had some shirts, the Maui Strong shirts with the logo in the middle that we're selling to raise for them. We did sell a lot of them. We're almost down to the bottom of that, but they also got their GoFundMe's and stuff.
Which we'll put a link on this podcast so people can share and they can get some of that information and put that on there so that if they want to donate to help these people in Maui. I mean, what I think maybe people don't understand with the devastation over there is a lot of these people in their houses and things like that. These are generations of families that are passing the houses on, stuff like that, and who knows what's going to happen with insurance, all this kind of stuff, and so they obviously need as much help as they can get.
For sure. Yeah, a lot of them that was their maybe grandparents' house or parents' house, and now they got 2 or 3 generations living in the same house. And when it took what they had, it took everything. I mean, only what maybe they went to work with. I mean, a lot of them, the kids went to school and they didn't know anything, and all of a sudden now. They go home and they actually couldn't go home. They're still not able to go back to their house, but it's awful. And I think the long term is now where we need to start looking toward. Maybe I know a lot of people like Sean Moore and even Tom from Hot VWs. They've been working really hard. They've been getting us pallets of stuff too, but I mean, we need to look for the long term and maybe getting more people donating those trailers that there's those little
mobile homes.
Yeah, mobile homes and stuff like that. Or if you know anybody that actually makes small homes, just so we can get, once the EPA goes through and cleans off the lots and stuff, then we can get people back on their own lots, because a lot of them, the houses were so old. I mean, they probably didn't have any loans and they weren't paying.
That's what
for
I'm
insurance.
thinking. I'm thinking some of these guys may not have insurance, because if your house is paid for and you're not worried about that, you're living in paradise. You know what I mean? You're not thinking you're gonna get a fire takes your house out, right?
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure,
so. It's for sure. It's a devastating thing. It's affected a lot of families that a lot of people don't understand the reality of how much of that it's affected some families negatively, So I definitely appreciate you being on here to spread the word. And like I said, we'll go ahead and put those links in the podcast where people can help out any of those families specifically. It's a really unfortunate situation, and I know the people from Maui are going to pull back together and get this together, because it's definitely a strong family vibe all here on all the islands over here, and I hope these guys get everything put back together. So a lot of families been displaced, and a lot of devastation from this. And anytime that something like this happens, it's really such a long process to get things back going over and over. So anyway, so the Maui Strong shirts you guys are selling, this will air in like a week or so. You'll be able to give me a link or something where we can put that to where people can support through that too.
I'll do that, and we can help those guys out. I mean,
you guys can go to the Valley Isle VW Club page too on Facebook, and reach out to Jody and the guys through that. Do you run a Facebook page?
Actually, it's Bud, but I'm one of the admins. Yeah, so it's Valley Isle spelled out correctly, and then V would be VEE, and Dubz would be DUBZ.
Right.
So Valley Isle Vee Dubz.
Valley Isle Vee Dubz. Check them out on Facebook, so you guys can do what you can to help our brothers and sisters out there in Maui. I mean, it's going to be a long process to get it back together. You know what I mean? Especially because of so many complications, so many layers of everything involved. You know what I mean? So, and I appreciate everything you did yesterday. You guys had an amazing cruise. Tell us about the event we did yesterday. So
it was crazy. I mean, we had everybody pretty much that had cars out there that were running and ready to go. And then we had like Ron and Rich and Tom and Shin, and of course you guys helped make this event to what it is. You brought even just the word of you guys coming out helped bring out everybody else. We had Ron Ponzo, who we're learning so much from him as far as running these things, and he donated not just his time, his know-how, and also his restaurant. We had that buffet lounge
that
down
was
there.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was killer, man. And we just had such a good time. I shout out to Brandon again, because he's one of the major guys that is always putting this stuff together, doing stuff for the community, whether it's Toys for Tots and stuff. And
yeah,
awesome.
Brandon's a good dude, right? Brandon's a great guy.
He is.
He's got some crazy fast cars out here.
He does.
He's the dude. If you want something fast in Maui, you go see him, right?
Exactly.
He's gonna mess with everything, right?
Yep. He'll chance anything, do it all, and he's got that buggies that been running 9s, and it's a full pan car and stuff. You know that when Kurt Furumoto was running that, him and Kurt were together on it and stuff, and Brandon's he's so willing to share his knowledge, man. It's there.
And the cruise yesterday was put on. It was a cruise for Kurt, right?
It was.
Tell me a little bit about Kurt.
Kurt was a jack of all trades. If he wanted to try something, he'd rip it. Whether he'd go, you'd see his square back with the rag top, chop top, down at the beach with his surfboard and his dog Miley, and he'd be out there surfing and stuff, and come back in, take Miley in the water. I mean, he would rip it. He would rip at surfing. He used to rip at motorcycles. He ripped at racing drag bikes. He ripped at racing Volkswagens. I mean, whatever the guy did, he did well. And him and Brandon made such a good team. Brandon would be there, just giving him the little, hey, try go do this and do that. Cut off 1/10 of a second here or there. They were such a great team, man. And Kurt was so good, man. And we appreciate his family letting us keep his memory going this way.
Yeah. It's an unfortunate circumstance that he suffered from depression, some things like that. So, one of the things that you guys did yesterday was that you guys were partnered with the lady from
yes, Mental Health Awareness Hawaii, and she shared some just things to look for, certain signs you can look for, and also what we have on Maui and in Hawaii to help people out. If it's yourself or if it's somebody else, just talk to somebody. Just whatever you can do, man. If every person if we can help just one, that's a success right there.
Yeah, I mean it's sometimes we my son, one of his classmates, committed suicide this last year, and it's such an unfortunate circumstance, because that's one of the things that can really be prevented if you seek some help and you talk to some people and you get some guidance, and then if friends, you gotta be there for your friends, and if they're not acting right and they seem a little bit a little despondent and stuff like that, man, reach out to them and let them know there's no shame in talking to somebody. You know what I mean? Because the alternative is way worse.
Yeah.
Because the next day everybody's life still moves on.
Exactly.
And now you're just missing, and that just makes it terrible for everybody that's ever experienced something where they've lost a good friend. I've lost several friends to suicide, and it's not a good thing. And the saddest part is it's something that's completely preventable. So keep an eye on your friends, and always, sometimes we get a little too rough with each other. You know what I mean? Whether it's over Facebook stuff or whatever. You know what I mean? But you got to remember, like, we look out for one another, and that's what it comes down to. Is that sense of what we have. I think what brings so many of us to the VW community, that sense of family, that sense of like somebody's got our back.
Exactly. Like out here in Hawaii, all these guys are like telling us, come on over, and like we had like Kokomo Outlaw. They put up a jar at that swap meet out there. That they have once a month, and they sent over money to those guys in Lahaina. I mean, it's just thing after thing. Dow, Cambria did us the shirts pretty much at cost. I mean, just things you would never think people do, and they're all just chipping in, man. And for myself and Maui, we really, really appreciate that. And those guys in Lahaina, they really need that. Some people in Kula also suffered too, lost homes and stuff. I didn't hear of any fatalities up there, but they suffered too. I mean, it really picked out spots up there. It's kind of rare. It like comes up in a gulch, and then it burns one house, then it goes like 3 houses up the road, burns a few more, and then the rest of their neighbors, their house is fine. And you got those people that their houses didn't burn, and they got such guilt. When their houses come back, when they finally can go back in, some of them are thinking about waiting a while or whatever, because they just feel so guilty to be the ones that their house didn't burn.
Yeah, and I think that the tough part, we live in a crazy world today where it's like so many things don't seem right, that you don't know if it's a conspiracy theory or if it's this or if it's that. But the crazy part is when you look at what happened here, especially in a tropical storm, the wind shifts so fast, things happen so quickly, and the disappointing thing is if they'd have cut off the power, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How much of this could have been prevented, and sometimes it's like you hope the government steps up and does the right thing, and that they stand behind what they did and take responsibility and make things right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's when you're talking unfortunate families that they don't have $500,000 in the bank to build a house and do this. And who does, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And the reality is, sometimes it's a little frustrating when you see that our government is giving money to every place else except for our people here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they got $700, I think, from FEMA when they
For
fill
a family.
That's what I've heard, a one-time payment. So how can you do that? I mean, our government should be taking care of our people first, man. No matter who or what the president is, that should be basics. Is our people first.
Oh, 100%, especially with an unfortunate circumstance like this, because especially in Maui and in Hawaii, it's a special circumstance. Because I was talking to some friends of mine back home. They're from Hawaii, and I said, yeah, and if you're native Hawaiian, you have land. You have land that's given to your family that you may never build on it, but you have a piece of land somewhere.
That's true, Hawaiian homes. But the one thing is that there's thousands of people waiting on that list because they're developing. I guess the state's got a responsibility on helping that lands get developed and stuff. So
my point was that a lot of those people over there, they were generational living. You know what I mean? And so, like, for them, how can they afford to live here? Well, they can afford to live here because they've been here. Their grandfather was here. Their parents were here, and they're, because the average home price here is $1 million.
Yeah, exactly. My great grandmother guy's house sold like over a year ago, and the lot was, I think, 6,200 square feet, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, and a single car separate garage. It sold for $750,000. That was before this last big raise.
Who can afford that? Who can afford that working at the post office?
Exactly. Our pay is so low and everything else, and then everything is so expensive. You're paying $12 for some eggs. Now it's back down to $8. But I mean, it's crazy. It's hard. We make good money if we move any place else on our same salary, but out in Hawaii, it's hard.
Yeah. No, so. I mean, if you guys listen to this podcast, can do anything that you can, click on the links. They'll be down in the description of the podcast below for anything you guys can do to help out for Maui. And there's still lots of stuff. One of the other things that you guys can do, don't not go to vacation in Maui because they need those vacation dollars. They need those. Yeah. I was just reading today. They said the tourism bureau said there's still lots of Maui to come see Maui. They we drove by the lot yesterday. It's hundreds of rental cars just sitting in the lots over there because everybody doesn't, although Lahaina is a small area over there, there's still a lot of the island that people can go experience tourism because their main business is tourism. If the tourism slows down, book your trips today and come out and hang with the Valley House.
Only Lahaina town is closed, people. Every place else is open and just as beautiful as ever. And the people are beautiful, and you see that even more because you see how much they help each other. I mean, it's great. We got some people coming down, some tourists, and they're helping out too. That is so great. They're making a positive effect on their trips. I mean, besides having the time to go to the beach or go up to Haleakala or wherever they want, Hana, all those beautiful areas.
Yeah.
Please come down. And there's some good deals, man. The flights and stuff are all cheap now, and more than enough rent cars, man. They're sitting out there in the lots.
They're there, man. And I can tell you, I've spent some time here. I think I was here for a friend of mine's wedding 20 years ago. Then I'm here again in Honolulu, and I've been to Maui a couple more times. I kind of like Maui. It's a little more laid back vibe, a little more kind of low key, And I'll definitely be back. I'll be back again for sure, man. So I appreciate you coming on, brother, and sharing some stuff with us. I look forward to seeing. And if you guys in Vegas, you ever see this big Hawaiian dude walking around, usually wearing a Hawaiian VW Outlaw shirt or Valley Isle Vee Dubz. And he represented Hawaii.
Yeah.
He was walking around cars and coffee over there in Vegas. You make sure you go talk to Jody. That's Big Jody that you're going to see over there. So,
man,
Jody.
Bill.
Brother, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you so much.
Love to you and everybody out there, man. I really appreciate you and what you've done, your wife and everybody. VWs, man. You guys have just been so gracious, man. So gracious and helped us out. Sean Moore, thank you. I mean, everybody.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I mean, VWs has been, Tom and Shin out here stepped up big time to help out with so much. I talked to them. They invited me to come down here with them. They said, hey, we're going down to the Shaka show. I said, yeah, let me go down there. And it just so happened that this just happened last month in Maui. We made the trip. We all flew over to Maui yesterday from here and got to be part of that cruise for Kurt and all that stuff yesterday. So that was a good time, man. And again, much love to my brothers and sisters in Hawaii.
Thank you so much, Bill. I really appreciate you, man.
God
bless. God bless.
All right. Thanks.
This next interview is with Todd Matsumoto, who is the president of the VW Club of Hawaii. So let's get into that.
Okay, everybody. So again, today I'm here at the 2023 Shaka Show. We're here, and I'm here with the president of the VW Club of Hawaii,
Todd Matsumoto.
Todd Matsumoto. Todd, welcome to the podcast.
Ah, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out. Yeah.
No, absolutely. My pleasure. And real quick, the way that we always start the podcast is, what's your VW story and how did you get into Volkswagens?
Oh, so I guess 40 years ago, or maybe more than 40 years ago, when I worked in the gas station.
Yeah.
When I was 15 years old, and it just started from there. One of my the older mechanics had a Volkswagen Bug, 59, and he was going to change the transmission, and I went to his house to help him take out the motor and the transmission, and after that I was hooked.
Really?
15 years old, yeah.
And now you've been in the game over here in Oahu for quite a while, president of the VW Club of Hawaii. You're instrumental in putting this on. Now, somebody told me that you were the guy that helped make it possible to get the buggies, the Myers-Banks, registered here.
So in 1986, they changed the recon law, and you couldn't get any kit cars registered.
Why?
They just put a clause in it. So they grandfathered everybody in from 1984. They said that if you got 2 years to grandfather your dune buggy in to 1986, and anything after that, no kit cars would be allowed to get registered. They put you have to get a certified engineer to certify your car meets all the federal safety standards.
Really?
Yeah. So some of the there's about maybe like 5 of them. My car, we're all registered, recon, grandfathered in, and legal after 1986. Yeah.
And then what? So after 86,
so people would just register their car as a 2-door sedan, all the way up until I introduced the bill back in '99.
Oh, really?
2000, and it took 4 years to pass.
Like a legislation bill.
Legislation bill to pass, to get it all the kit cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, dune buggy is a kit. So to get all the dune buggies legal, it took 4 years, from 2000 to 2004.
Wow.
Yeah, I lobbied the whole thing from scratch. It was pretty crazy.
You've got to be pretty committed to the hobby. If everybody complains about it. Few people step up and do something about it, right?
Well, I had my dune buggy since I was in 1984. So what is so 39 years, and it's still there. It's right there.
That's the same dune buggy.
That's the same dune buggy. Went through 3 different crashes. Did it 3 times.
Really?
Yes.
And now, have you always been a dune buggy guy, or what?
Well, I had a baby window before the dune buggy.
So
yeah.
Excuse me. The first car you had
is a '72 Volkswagen Bug.
So you start with a 72.
Change it to make it look like a 67.
So you go change the aprons,
everything.
And
then traded it for a baby window.
Yeah.
And then I had zigzag on the side of the baby window. So then that's why everybody calls me Zig. I had the zigzag Bug,
Right.
With the rolling paper guy.
Also the zigzag logo from the zigzag guy.
On the quarter panel. This big, So I used to get pulled over all the time from the police, And
no, that's too cool.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I was talking to, I had Alan Young a little bit ago. We were talking about the Hawaiian look.
Yeah.
From the Hawaiian look has a specific, center lines dropped in the front, skinnies in the front, bigs in the back, 48 IDAs.
Hard lights.
Yeah, hard lights. When's the first time that you see a car like that? And whose car do you think is the first one in the magazines like that?
Oh, I don't know. Way back. So I just started way back, dropping the front, and
Because I think, for me, I know that his car is in the cover 1989 VWs, and I'm thinking maybe that's one of the first ones that I see.
Oh, it's got to be before that.
In
the 80s.
Well, it's got to be. It's got to be in the earlier 80s like that,
yeah,
and
70s,
now
late 70s, early 70s too.
Because it's a little bit of a mix, right? It's kind of like it's a little bit of Latino style because the Latino guys back in East LA stuff like that did. Some of those guys put the deeps on the back, you know what I mean? But they had the graphics. They all had the graphics down the sides, right? Like Speedy Gonzalez and some of those other cars. Do you remember any cars back from the magazines in the early days that inspired you?
Oh, I don't know. Once I fixed the boat, once I helped my friend change his transmission and take the motor out and change it in like a few hours,
Yeah.
it just got me. You
Yeah.
know, it was so fast. And then next thing you know, we're burning rubber. I was hooked.
Well, and
you know.
how much of it do you think has to do with, like, you work on a car and then you realize, like, hey, I can do this. I can build my own car, because this car was half in pieces and we just put it back together in half a day.
Yeah.
I mean, you think that has a lot to do with you going down the path of Volkswagens?
I think so. Yeah. And collected up and the price back then, it wasn't as expensive. Yeah.
Right.
As now. Yeah.
Because I always say there's two kinds.
And we stole a lot of them too. Yeah. Back in the 80s, we stole a lot of cars.
They were easy to get,
They're
right?
easy to steal. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
just
hook
jump
up the
the
two
coil-
wires on both sides and kickstart it, right?
That's it. Just jump the alternator
Yeah,
wire to
yeah.
the coil wire.
Yeah. And just kickstart it. So.
Yeah.
It was a big deal back in the late 70s, 80s in Hawaii. Man, they would come and check your cars and check the numbers, and all the police stations had like 20 cars, all stolen cars, all in their lots.
So it was a big,
We would go
deal.
in there and steal the parts from.
So you guys would go into the impound lot.
Yeah, we would. There was an impound. There was an impound lot by Point Panics. Yeah, not
So you guys would hop the
we would
fence,
hop
go
the
in there,
fence, go in there,
and take whatever parts you needed.
Fucking 48s and
So you guys were part of the problem back in the day.
Yes.
But I mean,
But now we're all grown up and look at we're
Yeah.
all blessed. We're all lucky to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out. We're just to be in have this and all my friends, because we used to hang out here every weekend. We used to race right in the front here, from that concession all the way down. There's no speed bumps. We
Oh,
used to-
really?
Yes.
Your straight line drag race right
so
here.
on both sides of this street we'd have all hot rods, and we would race from that speed bump or that concession down this road right here on a Friday, Saturday night. At 7 o'clock, you would find no parking in here.
And then,
right? Yeah.
and even then, it's still the Volkswagen guys against the hot rod guys, right?
Yeah. Yep. And Doomagies blow everybody away. Yeah.
Right, 'cause
Yeah.
they
All
don't-
the bugs blow everybody. All the V8s and then from here we'd go to Magic Island, then to Diamond Head, and then end up at Sandy Beach and race at Sandy Beach.
And did they used to have a track here, quarter-mile
Yeah,
track?
they used to have a track out in Campbell. Yeah.
And they don't have it here anymore.
2006 they shut it down, so we're lobbying now for a track now. Yeah.
So
I'm part of
trying to have the state sponsor a track so that you guys get people off the street racing, because
Yes.
people are not going to stop racing. They're still racing, right?
They're still racing. Yeah.
So I mean, the bottom line is like,
And if it doesn't happen, I'll put on if I can put this on,
Yeah.
I can put a racetrack thing on a quiet street, get the permits, block it off.
Why
I'll
not?
call you guys.
yeah,
If I can have invite some of the Doom Buggy guys and whoever got some big motors and have fun for a couple hours.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I was trying to do that a while back, but
Nah.
I have a restaurant, so it takes up too much time. But 2 more years, I'm gonna sell it and retire and do whatever I want again.
Now with putting on this event, how many years you been doing the Shaka show over here?
21 years now.
21 years.
Yes.
And every year, does it get a little bit bigger? I mean, you see the hobby kind of
So
goes
today,
up and down a little bit.
210 cars today.
210 cars today. That's for a small island.
Yeah. So
That's
average is about 150 to 200, but it went over 200 today.
And there's
So,
probably still 50 cars sitting at home.
maybe 200 cars. More. So whatever is here today, got all over the island. Got about 1,000 cars
Really?
at least, and got way more cars. So got cars on the street on Alamana Boulevard. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but got more cars out there that never came out today.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes,
And that's there's always the dynamic, the tough part of being in a club, and then you have other clubs,
Yes.
and everybody got, their own opinions of everything. But the reality is, we used to do this in Vegas. My attitude, because I was part of the Las Vegas Volkswagen Club, and there's other clubs in Las Vegas. Another club puts on a show, I go and I pay and I go be part of that event, because you need everybody doing something.
Yes.
Everybody has
like
to
here,
support
All
everybody.
the clubs, we just invite everybody, and we just feel like it's just one ohana, yeah? It's just one family, really.
Yeah.
If you got a Volkswagen, you're part of a Volkswagen club.
Yeah.
Even if you're in somebody else's club, we don't care what club you're in. If you got a Volkswagen on the island, you can come to our show. You can be part of this. You can have whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's Hawaii, right? It's
Yeah.
Hawaii.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
Make barbecue. You can go and eat at every tent you want. I'm serious, you know.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Listen,
you can eat at every tent. You can go to got some shave ice on that side. And,
Yeah.
Oh, they're cooking some quarter hinds over there and pig and oh my God.
Yeah,
This is it.
It's been a great experience being here, you know, because everybody's so friendly and everybody just has kind of that whole, that like you said, that Ohana vibe. Like everybody's just
Hawaii.
like family, right? You know, like, and especially with VW guys.
Yeah, they're more, you know, you need help, you know, somebody comes set up the other club. They're not like, oh, not, they'll just help the other club, you know, we just,
No,
Hey,
it's
Hawaii's
great.
small, man, you know. People that you know here, that live here or on wherever parts of the island, you know, if you need something done for your house, or, you know, you know, not only to Volkswagens, but it's everything, the whole, screen window or whatever,
Yeah, it's been a
Family thing.
It's been a great vibe out
Thanks,
here,
yeah.
just kind of getting to see the whole experience with all the different people.
Yeah.
You know, all the different people, you know, and the different style of cars, because you start to see not just everything's not Hawaiian style over here.
yeah.
Now you're seeing a lot of
Changing.
a lot of the cow look
The
style,
cow look, yeah.
a lot of cow style, a lot of, you know, like a German folks look. You get a lot of different looks out here. So
almost every look, it's getting to be almost every look, yeah. You know,
I think it's great, man.
Yes.
And now you've had your buggy now for
84, 39 years or whatever.
and you got the what do they call those, the finger center lines, like the
Convos.
convos.
Yeah.
You got the convo center lines. You got a single 48 IPA.
Single 48. That's for I used to go off road. So I used to use that motor to go off road before.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. So this car used to go off road. So off road is for dune buggy. I think you got to take it off road.
Yeah.
But I put it back to like street, so it hasn't been off road for a while. But before, we used to go off road and race.
And then what's so you got a, looks like you got a chopped roll bar in there, like a real short roll cage in there.
Yeah.
So the windshield's chopped down pretty low.
Yeah. And they got full sound system.
Of course, you got the hardtail lights. Of
But
course.
this car's been in the magazine since 2022, so this thing is 21 years old, like that.
How
It was
steep?
2002 was in the Hot VW magazine on the cover.
Really?
Yes, in 2002.
Wow.
So it's been 21 years now. It's been like that,
And you still
and I never crashed it yet.
keep it going straight. No, I like it. I think that's awesome, man. And listen, if you're in Hawaii and you see the zigzag, plates on the buggy cruising around with the hardtail lights. That's my guy over here. Well, man, thanks for putting this event on. I'm glad I got to come here and check it out.
I'm glad you came. Yeah,
Listen,
this is awesome. You know,
It's an awesome event. Anybody that's got an opportunity to come down for Labor Day weekend, you want to be down here in Honolulu and check out this event. It's one that should not be missed. And then there's more than this. You guys doing an
so it
island
starts
cruise?
on Friday. Friday it was at the Magic Island. Yeah?
Right.
We had that picnic.
Yep.
And then Saturday night cruise, and then today, and then tomorrow we're gonna have a cruise around the island. So we start at Mahalo Gardens.
Yeah.
And then we're going over to H3, and they're gonna head out to Waimanalo and go to the polo field. And then we're gonna have all the cars line up on the polo field. We're gonna take the group photo.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then after that, we head out to Costco, Hawaii Kai, where they have the hot rod cruise. So all our cars are gonna be about 500 hot rods and whatever Volkswagen. So that
Really?
Costco thing got all the.
And what time does this
2
start
o'clock.
tomorrow?
It starts at 2.
Starts at 2 tomorrow. From where?
Costco, Hawaii Kai.
Costco,
So,
Hawaii.
so our stuff starts at 8 at Mauna Loa Gardens. Then we head over to the H3, and then we come out by Kaneohe, Waimanalo about 9. So we'll be at the polo field around 9:30, 10. And then take the pictures around 12 o'clock. We'll head back to Hawaii, Makapu and Sandy Beach. And then head to Hawaii Kai Costco, where I got the hot rod car show.
I like it.
And then we're gonna end up there
Well,
Yeah.
I'm hoping to maybe tag along for a little bit tomorrow.
Yeah.
Man, it's
And you can find somebody to ride in their car in a Volkswagen if you want. Huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because Sal has his 21 window and got the roof. You can film the.
Yeah. Listen,
We'll see.
I'm all about it. Yesterday we cruised around Maui all day yesterday, so we had a good time
you
with
guys
that.
went around, yeah.
And then I'm looking forward to enjoying more of this event, man. It's a great weekend, and I appreciate you for putting it on. Now, how long has the club been together? The VW Club of Hawaii.
So 27 years.
So
now.
27 years you guys been
last year 26 years.
And how many members?
So our Facebook page got plenty members, but at least a few hundred members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome, man. It's a great, listen, I appreciate you putting this event on.
Yeah.
Thanks for everything you do for the VW hobby. And if you're ever in Vegas, look me up, brother.
Oh yeah. I used to go there all the time, but I haven't been there for a while. So, but after 2025, I may be coming up.
Yeah.
That's when my lease is up for my restaurant. So it's gonna be 20 years. I might sell it and
That's it.
just build Volkswagens again. Because before my restaurant, I only built cars.
That's
and then
it?
I got the restaurant 20 years, and now I had to kind of give it up a little bit, but only after work. But now I can go back to, 8 in the morning to, yeah.
Hey, it's a love of what you do. You know
Well,
what I
I
mean?
collected a lot of stuff for the last 40 years, and it's all at my house.
So you have stuff coming up next to be built that you want to build for yourself?
What do I have? Well, I have a whole bunch of Dumagi bodies, and I still have my 56 rag I didn't fix. I have a 57 notch calming gear,
Yeah.
low light.
Nice.
Yeah, that's I think my last project, but
Well,
yeah.
I
I have a chop bus I didn't bring today.
really?
Yeah.
For your restaurant?
No, I have a chop bus with a spoiler. It looks like one of those drag buses.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I'm gonna bring it tomorrow.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to checking that out. So,
Beat up green chop bus.
well, that's cool, man. Well, I look forward to seeing that tomorrow, man. And thanks so
Yeah.
much for coming on the podcast.
Right on. Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
brother.
you. Thank you very much.
You got it.
Aloha.
Aloha.
I hope you guys appreciate those podcasts. I really enjoyed going to Maui. If you guys get a chance to head out there, go support those guys. Being in Oahu, the guys, the VW Club of Hawaii, shout out to those dudes. And all the people of Hawaii really were so hospitable to us. And thanks for Hot VWs for inviting me out there. I got to hang around with Shin and Tom and all those guys all weekend. So running all over the place. And Ron Fleming and Rich Kimball were also out there. So it was a great time. And I really had an enjoyable week out there in Hawaii. So until next week, guys, more coming up from Hawaii and lots of other stuff. So by the way, next Friday when you get the podcast, I'm going to be in the Netherlands at the Air show. So until next week, guys, later.
You probably don't know that there's a new Volkswagen out that doesn't look like a Volkswagen.